When most people think about Ja Rule, they think about the dude who got bodied by 50 Cent and Eminem. They think about the Fyre Fest. They think about 50 Cent buying a bunch of tickets at his show so that he'd look out at them empty seats when performing. But when I think of Ja Rule, I think of, what would I be without you? I think about holla, holla. I think about always on time, bro. I think about between me and you, thug loving. I think about him and J.Lo. I think about Ashanti. I think about a time when hip hop and R&B were mainstream, bright, fun, sexy. So in today's episode of Give Them Their Flowers, you already know, man, we gotta talk about Ja Rule. Yo, when it comes to starting from the bottom, getting it out the mud, it don't get more crazier than Ja Rule, you know? So, boom, New York City, Queens. Single moms trying to raise a kid in this crazy environment. She's doing up double, triple shifts. So young Ja ends up spending a lot of time at his grandparents' crib. And they know how crazy these streets are. So they're trying to keep him on the straight and narrow. Sunday, they're like, hey, get dressed, we're going to church. Now, the family was on that super religious tip. They were Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, if all you know about Jehovah's Witnesses is that they be trying to stop you in the high street to holler at you, or they be knocking on your door, then you need to understand. You need to understand one other important thing about Jehovah's Witnesses. If you decide to leave the religion, if you do some deconstructing and you're like, hey, this ain't for me, you get shunned, bro, okay? You get shunned. And that's exactly what happened to Ja Rule's moms. The whole church was like, hey, you're dead to us now. You're dead to us. The whole church, including her own parents. So there was a period there when she wasn't allowed to see her kid. Eventually, Ja Rule and his mom decided they would rather live in the trenches together than be apart because of the church. So he moved in with his moms and he started hustling, trying to help put food on the table. Ja Rule started taking rap seriously in 1994. He linked up with his boys Chris Black and O1 and they formed the group Cash Money Click. They cooked up some joints with their producer DJ Irv. Hey yo, they managed to lock in a record deal, an actual record deal with TVT Records. Their first single was this like old school underground hip hop joint called For My Click.
Big shouts to my thug niggas worldwide. Peace to the east side, west side nigga ride. Check out the way it's going down in the underground. The click is packing 4 pounds of full pressure. Nobody settling for less. Eliminate the stress. 550 for a check. Now it's time to move, stick and stack. Nemesis black, keep your hand in your gat, cause it's like that.
And they went back to back with smooth flows and rhymes. It was dope, man. It was dope. It started getting a little buzz. The video was even picked up by Yo MTV Raps. But then Chris Black got locked up. 5 years. The label was like, hey, we ain't waiting that long. And they dropped the group. So Ja was back at square one, man. No label, no hits, no fan base. For most people, this could have been the end of the story. You know, they grow up to become one of those uncles who tell you the story of how they almost became a big-time rapper, okay? That's most people. But Ja was built different. He kept grinding, kept pushing the music thing. And yo, I always say, apart from the talent and work ethic, one of the most important things when it comes to success is connections, networking. It's about the people you link up with. And Ja Rule understood this because he stayed in touch with the producer, DJ Irv, now known as Irv Gotti. And while Ja was working on getting noticed, Irv Gotti was doing up moves behind the scenes. He managed to get himself a gig at Def Jam, and he convinced the suits over there to check out Ja Rule's music. He did up a contract, and yo, check this. His first song as a solo artist was featuring on a joint called Time to Build, and this was like a prediction of the future of hip-hop, because you had a young Jay-Z on this thing, and guess who else was on it? DMX, bro. And Ja is doing his thing, bro. He's doing his thing alongside these two beasts. In fact, it sounds crazy saying it now because of who Jay-Z went on to become and who DMX went on to become. But Ja Rule might have the best verse on this thing. I ain't gonna hold you. His vocal presence, the rhyme schemes, the flow, like he's doing his thing. You can feel that hunger, that raw hip hop and passion. And the crazy thing is, right, Ja would later on get accused of jacking DMX's style because they both got them deep, gritty voices. But hearing them on this thing, right, the same song, hearing them together, you can hear how different and unique they were as rappers. And yo, he actually links up with DMX again on his next joint. And you got Tragedy Gaddafi and the Locks on this thing as well. So from early on in his solo career, this dude is rapping alongside proper MCs, going bar for bar, proving he can spit, earning his stripes. He went in alongside peeps like Method Man, Nas, Redman, LL Cool J. I think a lot of people get it twisted because Ja got so big, so mainstream that they try and rewrite history and act like this man was just like a novelty pop rapper. But nah, there was a time when peeps would burn CDs, like compilations of grimy gangster joints, and they would put Ja Rule on there. On his debut single, Holla Holla, he showed off his ability to take that underground street sound and pair it with a catchy hook. Yo, it was wild. This thing was infectious. Like, I dare you to listen to it and not rap along. Holla Holla, listen. It came in at number 35 on the Billboard charts, which, considering how heavy and hip-hop this thing was, it was super impressive. He dropped his debut album, and the thing with this album, man, is it balanced three elements perfectly. So in the production, mostly by Irv Gotti, it was big drums, big piano chords. There was a very distinct New Yorkness about the beats. The second thing was the street lyrics. Yo, the imagery, the slang, Ja Rule's delivery, the aggression. It was all very underground hip hop. Even the songs that dealt with like relationships and stuff, they were still framed with that ghetto hardcore outlook. The third thing was the soft R&B pop undertones and hooks. The album struck that perfect balance. On his next album, though, Murder Inc. decides to lean more heavily into the commercial side of things. This thing is more melodic, it's more radio friendly, it was more pop rap, and because of its massive crossover appeal, it blew up at number 1 on the charts. There was a single on there, yeah, featuring Christina Milian, and yo, this was the beginning of Ja Rule and Murder Inc. showing how they could blend pop, R&B with hip hop. The beat was vibey, Ja's flow and delivery was smooth. There were lines where he was kind of rap singing and it sounded banging. And Christina Milian, man, she bodied that hook, coming in with that every little thing that we do, boom, boom, should be between me and you. The freaky things that we do should be between me and you, baby. Yo, that thing was fire. It was getting mad airplay. And on the next joint, it just kept getting better. He dropped Put It On Me featuring Vita and Lil Mo. And on this joint, he leaned into the rap singing, okay? It sounded like a thug being vulnerable and pouring his heart out on the record. My man went, "What would I be without you? I only think about you. I know you're tired of being lonely, so baby girl, put it on me." Listen. It was number 8 on the Billboard charts. It was getting crazy heavy rotation on radio, and the music video was everywhere. But low-key, my favorite one, right? My favorite joint was the I Cry one. Lil Mo killed the hook. When I cry, you cry, we cry together. And then Ja's flow and delivery, it's just like, woo, he's doing up the whole blessing and a curse of being famous thing. Brilliant imagery, like super focused writing, fire delivery. And yo, the consistency was crazy, because after the first album, the next one dropped a year later. And then a year later, the third album dropped. It was called Pain is Love. And it also came in at number 1. And yo, listen, this was at a time when Jay-Z had an album out, and Ja replaced him at the top. Britney Spears had an album out, DMX, NSYNC, Alicia Keys, Aaliyah, System of a Down. Ja Rule being number 1 meant so much more, because you had all these different legendary artists, different genres, different styles, and for the most part, it was physical copies. People were walking into stores, seeing racks of CDs. You had little homies having to decide which album, which artist they were gonna spend their pocket money on. And yo, the ones who bought the album, they were not disappointed. You had Living It Up featuring Case. Do I do? To everybody that be living it up, we say what? I do. And all my ladies that be giving it up, what? You do. To everybody that be living it up, we say what? Do I do? To all my ladies that be giving it up, my love's for you. Yo, this thing was crazy. And yo, this is the same album that helped bring Ashanti to the masses. We had that Always on Time tune on this. And yo, hands down, one of the greatest collaborations of all time, bro. Like, it starts off with Ashanti just like giving us snippets of what's to come, just like teasing us a little bit. She's like, always there when you call, gave you my baby. And then the beat drops. And then she just comes in with that, I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. I gave you my all, so baby, be my listen.
Always there when you call, but I'm always on time. And I gave you my all. Now baby, be mine.
Hey yo, the chemistry between Ja and Ashanti was electric. Their vocals complemented each other perfectly. And yo, in the music video and on stage, they managed to pull off like this playful, flirty, fun vibe. It was like watching the urban equivalent of like Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. And yo, I love the fact that to this day, they have this amazing friendship and they get on and they're there for each other. Like, I love it, man. And yo, of course it came in at number 1. Of course it did. And yo, he had that joint he did with J.Lo on this, you know, that the I'm Real remix. It was just like back-to-back bangers. The singles were doing bits. And everybody was like, hey, there's no way he can top this. There's no way he has more bangers in the vault. And Ja was like, yeah? All right, check this out. Boom! Bobby Brown jumped out of the thing and went, and I know you're getting bored dealing with him. I know you miss my loving, my thug loving. And I know you're getting bored dealing with him. I know you miss my loving, my thug loving. Yo. Real talk, if you haven't seen the music video for Ja Rule featuring Bobby Brown, Thug Loving, pause this video right now. Pause it, go watch it, and then come back, okay? Because, yo, every frame is poetry in motion. Bobby Brown ate and left 0 crumbs, okay? The energy's so infectious, man. You can tell him and Ja Rule are just having a blast. The ad-libs, the flow, the dance moves, the energy. It's just straight up dopamine in a record. Like, listen, if there's an alternate reality out there where I'm an android and I run on good vibes and good energy, and I'm supposed to be protecting you from the evil androids, and we're trapped, okay? And these things are trying to break in. You've got a Brer like pushing his back, his weight against the door, and they're just like slamming into it. He's like, oh, and they're punching through the windows, and I'm lying there on low battery, you know, all powered down, and there's no extra packs of synthesized good vibes, so you can't just top me up, and things are looking bleak. It's not looking good. All you need to do in that situation, okay, all you need to do is find this song, crank it up, and all of a sudden I'd be like, fully charged. Save the day. Because the level of good vibes, fun energy in this thing is insane, okay? Nothing like it. I think it peaked on like number 40-something on the charts, which is crazy. I guess it was too much awesomeness for the world to handle. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this album also gave us another Ashanti and Ja Rule collaboration. It did. Mesmerize. Ridiculously catchy. The back and forth between Ja and Ashanti is like a masterclass. It's like a masterclass in how to collaborate on the song. Like, they both play into each other's strengths. The ad-libs, the back and forth, the production on the thing. flames. And it did up number 2 on the charts. And yo, Ja didn't know it then. Nobody did. But that was the last time he'd ever have a song that high up on the charts. And it's not because he fell off or he suddenly became trash. Nah, the downfall, it was mainly because of 2 things. Well, 3. Let me explain. The first thing was the beef with 50 Cent. Now, that's a video in itself, and it's been covered a million times in millions of videos. I'm sure you know all about it. But just in case, okay, just in case there's an alien who's trying to learn about humans, about pop culture, and this alien's on YouTube watching videos, and they've stumbled on this video, and they're coming in completely clueless, I'm gonna try and break it down with a quickness, okay? All right, boom. So, depending on who you ask, this beef started over some real ghetto movie type stuff. So apparently one of 50's boys, he straight up snatched Ja Rule's chain. Ja Rule was like, all right, cool. Chalked it up to the game. It be like that. That's just the risks of being out in the streets. Weeks later, he's posted up in the club. He looks across, the VIP section, and he sees 50 Cent chopping it up, vibing with the exact dude who jacked him. And Ja was instantly like, yo. Now, according to 50, that's not how it went down, okay? He's like, Ja was just mad because 50 was making moves, and apparently Ja ignored him at a video shoot thingy. Either way, it was petty, it was personal, but it wasn't just 50 and Ja, right? It was their peoples, okay? They both had dudes riding with them, so the whole thing just escalated. We're talking about Royal Rumble type fights, just a gang of dudes going at it, throwing hands, breaking furniture. And 50 Cent actually got juked up by some Murder Inc. peeps when he was inside the recording studio. So this didn't come from like rap, competition. This came from like real life. There was real animosity there. So 50 took that energy into the music. It wasn't like friendly competition. Nah, he was genuinely trying to end Ja Rule's career and replace him at the top of the charts. And 50 was prolific. He was flooding the New York mixtape scene, building up that street rep. And when he got signed by Eminem and Dr. Dre, he dropped the track Wankster, where he's taking shots at Ja Rule, his credibility. He's got a line on there like, damn, homie, in high school, you were the man, homie. 50's whole game plan was to go, hey, this dude Ja is fake, okay? He's a pop star, fake thug, making love songs for teenage girls. He's not a real rapper. He's singing on records. He ain't about that life. So 50 Cent isn't just a gritty street rapper anymore. He's got Dr. Dre's beats and Eminem's entire machine backing him up. It was game over before it even started, fam. Get Rich or Die Trying drops, and 50's selling like crazy. So now he's got the streets and the mainstream love, and he's keeping that pressure on Ja Rule, questioning his authenticity, bringing his name up in interviews. Diss songs are getting exchanged. I remember, Ja Rule's whole thing, right? His whole thing is he walked that thin line between the street credibility and the commercial dominance. It was like a thin line, a delicate balance, because even before 50, there were hip-hop purists, who thought he leaned too much into the commercial side of things. He was a bit too pop. But that was the old heads, the hip-hop purists, the conscious rap crowd. For the rest of the world, Ja was solid. He was getting played in the clubs, at the cookout. He was in the middle of these two worlds, right? So 50 Cent coming along and calling him a fraud, it wasn't like a stretch or anything. And it kind of messed up that balance, the balance that he'd worked so hard to cultivate. And yo, more and more people are now going 50 Cent and G-Unit are real gangsters. They are authentic. Ja Rule is lame, okay? More and more people were beginning to side with 50. Ja Rule then drops this track, Loose Change. And I ain't gonna hold you, Ja went in, okay? The flow was kind of crazy. The punchlines, the bars, fire. But Ja made one of the biggest mistakes in hip-hop history. He wanted to hurt Eminem for signing 50, right? So he brought Eminem's little daughter, Haley, into the lyrics. He said something along the lines of, your mom is a crack whore and Kim is a slut. So what's Haley gonna be when she grows up? Bro, you do not mention that man's daughter. Okay? Because before all of that, Eminem was the one holding 50 back. Like, hey, let's not put too much energy into the diss songs. But after the Haley thing, it was like, all right, let's go, okay? So now it was like Shady Records, G-Unit, D12, Busta Rhymes. They all linked up and went against Ja and Murder Inc. They dropped diss tracks, man, like Haley's Revenge and that. So, like I said, it was three things that led to Ja Rule's downfall. The first was the 50 Cent beef. The second thing, in my opinion, is Homeboy switched up what he was doing. Like, let's take a look at the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, okay? Most people overwhelmingly went, Kendrick won the battle, right? Like, he got it. Everybody and their mama was singing along to Not Like Us. When Drake came back with an album, he did bits. He did what he does best. He made hits. Whether you're a Drake or a Kendrick fan, it don't matter. His album broke all-time records. He did his thing. That's what Ja Rule should have done. He should have carried on linking up with Ashanti, R&B singers, and banging out crossover chart joints. But instead, Ja Rule wanted to prove that he was about that life. So he went back to like his old school gritty stuff. And then he dropped this New York anthem called New York. And he got Fat Joe and Jadakiss to jump on it. The song is actually fire. But 50 Cent dropped Piggyback as a response, and he just goes at every major rapper in New York. He makes fun of Fat Joe's lean back. He called Jadakiss a commercial sellout. He throws jabs at Nas. Khalees said the milkshake brings the boys to the yard. And then Nas went and tatted the chick on his arm. Like, he was just being disrespectful. He basically told the entire city of New York, I will ruin all of your careers if you stay friends with Ja. And the streets, they sided with 50. He made it uncool to like Ja Rule. If you were driving down the block blasting Always on Time, people would look at you sideways, okay? Underground radio stations stopped playing Ja Rule's music. And that's what I'm saying, man. Ja was trying to fight 50 on a street level when he should have been fighting on a commercial level, letting the success do the talking. Because the most silliest hypocritical thing that 50 Cent did was he convinced people that what Ja Rule was doing was lame, then he went and did the exact same thing, okay? 50 criticized Ja Rule for his melodic rap style. And then he goes on to drop songs like, I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll let you lick the lollipop. What do you mean? Like that whole joint with Olivia, that back and forth, that could have been Ja and Ashanti, okay? On that PIMP joint, he's rap singing that hook. I don't know what you heard about me. Bro, window shopper. I'm a window shopper. Everything 50 criticized Ja Rule for, everything he said was lame about Ja Rule was exactly what he went and did. He became Ja Rule, bro. Okay? 50's hooks, music videos, features, production, the visuals, he basically filled the gap that Ja Rule had left. So, the 50 Cent beef, Ja switching up his style, and the third thing was the Murder Inc. drama. And this wasn't just some regular music industry drama. Nah, the feds literally raided the Murder Inc. offices in 2003. Like, someone needs to make a Ja Rule Murder Inc. movie, bro, okay? Because it gets crazy. Crazy things go down. So, they were investigating Irv Gotti and them because allegedly they'd been laundering dodgy money for a notorious gangster named Supreme McGriff. Now, this Supreme dude, he's kind of the reason why 50 was moving so aggressively, trying to end Ja Rule's career and that. Because back in the day, Supreme allegedly ran a massive gang that dominated the neighborhood that 50 grew up in. Now, when 50 left the streets and started making music, he was rapping about what he'd seen, his experiences. On his song Ghetto Quran, he talks about Supreme, his right-hand man, and the moves that they were making, right? And Supreme looked at this and went, nah, okay, this goes beyond hip-hop. This is talking about the inner workings of street activity that's meant to be kept secret. He saw it as a violation of the street code. He was like, 50 Cent is a snitch. And this was early in 50's career. He was with Columbia Records, building up the buzz. So these snitch allegations, it wasn't a good look. And then 50 got popped 9 times outside his grandma's crib. And allegedly, Supreme was the one who'd called the hit. 50 survived, but his career, it was pretty much DOA, man. Columbia dropped him with a quickness because they didn't want to deal with all that street mess, okay? Every radio station, record label, studio, promoter, they were like, hey, we ain't messing with 50. He was essentially blacklisted. He had to move to Canada, bro. He started cooking up mixtapes from Canada outside Supreme's reach. And it's one of these mixtapes that Eminem ended up hearing and led to him getting signed. So 50 isn't necessarily the bad guy in his story. It's not that black and white. His beef wasn't just with Ja Rule the rapper. It was with Supreme, who'd financially backed Murder Inc. and used his connection and street credibility to give Ja Rule a leg up. This was personal. So 50's being relentless, right? And at the same time, the entire record label is getting frozen by the government. Def Jam was like, we're not supporting you guys anymore because of the federal investigation. The money dried up. The marketing stopped. Irv and his brother, they eventually beat the case in court, but by then the damage was done. 50 had dropped a bunch of hit singles, G-Unit were doing their thing, other gangster rappers were doing their thing, and nobody was checking for Ja. And yo, for about a decade, Homeboy was mostly laying low, a gig here and there, doing a little acting, straight to DVD joints. He served a bit of time, weapons charge, and time did what it does. It moved on. Hip-hop moved on. The gangster sound that was mainstream, it got replaced by like the backpack vibe, Kanye West and them. And then it got replaced by melodic genre-bending artists like Lil Wayne. And then younger artists came in with their vibe. And then even 50 Cent and them became old school. They became the OGs. And then in 2017, Ja Rule goes mainstream again. He does. He links up with this young tech dude named Billy McFarland, okay? They create this app called Fyre, which it was supposed to be a platform to easily book artists for events. To promote the app, they decide to throw a luxury music festival on a private island in the Bahamas, once owned by Pablo Escobar. Okay, they do up crazy promotion for this thing, man. They pay millions to like Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, and all these influencers to post on social media. And yo, the internet goes crazy. There's like an exclusive hype beast vibe about the whole thing. Rich millennials are dropping 10, 20, up to $100,000 for luxury villas, yachts, catering, and a lineup featuring Major Lazer, Blink-182. Ja is on stage popping champagne, selling the dream. But yo, the dream turned out to be a nightmare, bro. When the kids arrived on the island, there were no villas, nothing, okay? There were disaster relief tents left over from the hurricane. They had that. There was no gourmet catering, okay? Just those infamous, sad-looking cheese sandwiches that went viral all over Twitter. There was no infrastructure, no running water. And the musical acts, they canceled before it even started. It was just straight up Lord of the Flies for rich kids, trapped on an island. Billy McFarland, he ended up doing time for the whole thing, wire fraud. And Ja Rule got cleared legally. But the internet, they didn't care, okay? They didn't care. He was getting memed. And to a new generation, this was their introduction to Ja Rule. And for some of the OGs who'd been swayed by 50 Cent's strategy back in the day, the whole Fyre Fest thing just solidified their view of Ja being corny and lame. And that's the funny thing about history, huh? It doesn't always remember people fairly. We remember the 50 beef, Eminem. We remember the diss tracks, the jokes. We remember Fyre Fest. But I think it would be a shame if we forgot not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. Mesmerized, between me and you, living it up, put it on me, wonderful. New York, I'm real, ain't it funny, thug loving. Yo, those are the old recipes. Music is vibrations, it's energy, it's magic, really. It shapes our reality. Somewhere out there, somebody met the love of their life dancing to Always on Time. Somebody had their first kiss with Mesmerized playing in the background. Somebody graduated with Living It Up blasting through the speakers. Somebody got through heartbreak listening to I Cry. There were moments, emotions, all tied in with Ja Rule's music. The summer of 2002, the music blasting out of every car window, every club, every house party, every radio station. Those memories matter. Those songs matter. And no rap beef, no federal investigation, no failed festival can ever take that away. Yo, history can be funny sometimes. One bad chapter can make people forget 10 incredible ones. And that's exactly why Ja Rule deserves his flowers.